Hi. I cut off 30 seconds. I was sitting here. And we decided to cut off 30 seconds. Hi everyone. Happy Monday. I got some new brushes in today. I don't like how this one's packaged, so I want to take it out. I needed something this size, because it occurred to me the other day that I have stuff this big, and then I have stuff, let's see, like this. And like, I have nothing in between these. Actually, this one's bigger. I also have like this massive brush. Yeah, so like I needed something more in between. So I got this one, and then I got this 1-inch brush, which is on a long handle. Lunar says, we don't need to follow no timer rules. It's my stream, I do what I want. So I got some new brushes. Oh my god. These are all long handles, so they go in the taller thing. And like, I have this bristle brush, and this guy is great. But, it's not in between. So I needed some in-between brushes. I don't know how I feel about these flat handle guys. I don't know. Brush talk. Yeah, it's brush talk today. Oh, you are short handle, so you go over here. One of my favorite brushes for texture has been these ultra cheap 1-inch brushes that I got from like Lowe's or Home Depot or somewhere. They're like $1 and they're terrible, but they're great for texture. So I bought some of them. Where did my studio scissors go? They've run off somewhere permanently, apparently. All right, where's a knife? We'll just slice these tags off. Sapphire Becca says, terrible, but great. Yes. They're terrible for most applications, but for the application I use it for, they're wonderful. We have a 9-month resub from Pete Cal. Thank you. Oh, I'm not clicked on the right window to do that. Let's fix that. Perfect. So like some of my brushes are Stevens from college. Let me find a good example of that. This one's mine from college. Oh, here's one of Stevens from college. I ended up sawing it off because I wanted it to be a short handle at some point. But this was one of mine from college. And I know because I accidentally soaked it in the water and like all of the covering, like the water soaked up into the handle. And now it sheds yellow paint everywhere, like dried paint. Where's the cryptid and the furry son? They're downstairs, I think, eating lunch. Brush Talk is the stream's version of Camera Talk from Steven's stream. Oh, I could talk about paint forever. The other thing I got today, well, when I started this painting on Tuesday evening, I was like, okay, I have 18 by 24 canvases. I have eating lunch without you, how rude. I ate already. I have 8 by 10s and 4 by 6s. And I was like, I don't really want to paint 8 by 10 and 18 by 24 is quite large. So I went with the larger one, which is why I've been streaming. I need to finish this. So that's what I did. And I was like, I should order 11 by 14s because it's a good midpoint. And when I was struggling to figure out what color to do the underpainting, and we were like, pink. And I was like, I don't really have pink, but I had quinacridone magenta. And so I was like, I should get some pink colors. So I got quinacridone magenta and a heavy body because like I realized I'm significantly lacking in pink paint because I have like everything else. And then for fun, I bought fluorescent magenta and fluorescent pink. And like when I was looking at them online, I was like, oh, they're not that fluorescent. And then they arrived today and I was like, oh my god, they're like highlighter paint. They're so bright. Thank you, Alex. The pineapple is looking really good. I'm very happy with how it turned out. I have some chalk I need to erase on it, but we're gonna be working on the pomegranate today. I think I'm also lacking in orange paint. Oh, all my orange is over here. That's why I'm lacking. So, yeah, like I feel like I don't have a lot of violets either. And half of my violet I picked up at store going out of business sale at the very, very, very beginning of the pandemic when AC Moore went out of business in Myrtle Beach. We went and I got paint for like really cheap. And that's where I picked up 2 of my 3 violets. I don't know. Let's see. This one I've had for a while. I got this at the same time. I can tell because they have these like paper labels I've been slowly trying to peel off. This is an Inference Violet, and so it's basically transparent but has a little violet sheen to it. Oh no, the sticker got stuck to my nails. Don't do that. So I kind of, at some point, would like to have a whole set of these because I think it would be fun to give a little metallic sheen to everything. So, like, this one's violet, so nothing here is really violet. Like, I could put this in the shadow down here and then use the red on the red part. Like, I think that might be fun at some point. I think it's a little kitsch because it's, like, shiny, but it's shiny and pretty. Speaking of shiny and pretty, the other cool thing I got is when I was looking at Blick, they had clearance on some canvases. And they're way over there. They had these canvases on clearance that are metallic, and they didn't have the gold ones, but they had the pearl ones. So I bought them on clearance for like, $4. So I'm really excited about that. I just don't know what I want to do with them yet. Oh, thank you. I did my nails last night. And the best way I can describe it is, you know, in Sailor Moon when they have the like little like handheld things and they spin and then they catch them and then their nail polish lights up? It looks like Sailor V's. Like, that's the best representation of how I can describe this color. It's gold and there's like these coppery flaky pieces, but also like this gold reflective glitter in it. I really like it, but it did take 4 coats to not look like pee. Like, it looks like pee for like 3 coats, and then I put the 4th on and I was like, okay, now it's actually pretty. It took 4 whole coats, but I'm happy with it now because I think it looks really good now. We have a 2-month resub from Break All the Pots. Thank you. So now I feel like a magical girl. Sailor Venus was always my favorite because, like, growing up, Carly and I would like play pretend, and like she picked Sailor Moon. And I was like, okay, but I liked Sailor V because, like, her hair was long, and I always wanted to have super long hair like that. And then I did, and then it occurred to me that my hair has no body. It's just super straight and does nothing. And then you realize it gets tangled all the time and stuck on things, and when you lay in bed and roll over, you're pulling your hair. How much polish did I get yesterday? Vagabond? Okay, so Holo Taco's been doing a 12 days of Christmas for Christine, and they did like a hint in the email that was like, hey, on day 3, we're gonna bring back something that people have wanted for a while, and there's been a color I missed out on. And like, I don't buy polish all the time. Maybe once or twice a year I'll be like, I want a new color. So, when I saw that, I was like, oh, it's the color I've missed out on and wanted for a long time that I really like. So I did buy Existential Crisis yesterday, and I bought the Fallen Leaves Flaky top coat, some nail polish thinner. I think there was one other polish I bought. Let me look. What did I buy? I meant to buy the Everything top coat, and I forgot, so I missed that. Oh, I bought Left on Red, the solid red color, the creme, because when I borrowed Haley's red stamping polish to do my hurricane nails for the hockey game, like, it was a good red, but it took a few coats, and I wanted my own red polish. So I bought that for the next time I go to a hockey game. At some point, I want to pick up a good green and gold for Packers. At some point. I was looking at the Christmas bundle, and I was like, oh wait, these are been discontinued, and I can't get them. So, should have bought them too. Oh well. I'll find another green and gold at some point. Or I'll make a decision and pick something else, like get the creme green and gold, and then just put like hollow top coat on it. But yeah, Dan and Josh were over last night, and Dan did his nails, and then Josh has been doing just one, and so he did one with another color that I have, and it was kind of like this but red, and it reminds me of the ruby slippers from Wizard of Oz. The color he used. Did the Packers win yesterday? No one in my family told me. Normally they tell me, or they make some sort of snide comment about some player. And they can't make snide comments about Aaron Rodgers anymore. It was a great game. See, I don't get any TV. So I don't watch anything. And I don't think that we're in the viewing for Packer games in Raleigh here. Maybe playoff games. That's okay, though. I did not have time yesterday to sit around and watch a Packers game. 27-19? That was a good game. So this is my third painting palette. I talked about on Tuesday that I have 3. And the first one I have is my background colors, and I can't take the paint off that yet because I want to make sure I still have this blue in case I want to bring the blue out further. So that one can't move yet. And then my other palette is the one I've been working on for the pineapple. So it's all my pineapple colors, and I'm not ready to take those paints off yet either. Oops. Smacked that against the thing. Gaming Fan says, my Eagles lost miserably to the 49ers, and Noah said, I'm very salty about it. I was getting text messages from Noah about that game. No messages from my family about the Packers game, but Noah did tell me about the Eagles. All right, nice clean palette. This here, is that gonna come off? Yeah, that's just, but. There are scratches in this palette. This is my college one. So this one is super old, and like some of the paint gets into those tiny scratches. But it's tempered glass, so if it ever breaks, I mean, that'll be a pain to deal with, but it's part of it. What are we working on today, Reed? Reed, we are working on the pomegranate. We are gonna give it a base layer and then some detail. That's the plan for today. So I should probably start by like drawing in the edge of this. And then the way it works is like it swoops up into the crown like so. Like there's not a ring here. It like makes a curve up into the crown of the pomegranate. So I need to draw that in and kind of work on it as I'm painting. I can't do it like I did this and keep them separate because they're too close together. Oh, we have 5 gift subs from Charlotte Dante. Thank you so much for the gift subs. Those went to Cosplay Theory, Hand Sewn Mama, Gamer Girl Life, The Bella Bunny, and 2 Sleepy Cats. Thank you for the gift sub. All right. The other thing that's going to happen is filling in this pomegranate, I think, is going to make the glass kind of even out more because it looks really lopsided still, and I've been measuring it like every day I've painted, and I'm like, it's uneven. And then the next day I'll measure it, and I'm like, no, it's right. So filling in some of this bottom part, I think, is going to help. Charlotte says, I've been vibing with these streams lately. Glad to see you back painting. Thank you. I've been glad to be back painting. Like, after I paint for a while, I'll go take a break after streaming, and I'm like, I already painted today. I don't want to go live again, but I can't paint yet. So I'm just trying to finish this, because I've been enjoying it. We need painty emotes. Radio Dread, I do have a list of emotes that I want to have done. And we are talking to, or Steven will be talking to someone about it. We haven't like made, like I have a list, and he wants to narrow that list and like solidify that list of what we want to have for new emotes. One of which will be animated. So I'm excited about that. But we haven't even like decided on what ones we're going to commission yet. All right, pomegranate. So I had drawn the crown up here before, and I don't think that's right. I think it needs to sit more here. So I know I said it kind of swoops up into this, but I do need to know about where it is to make it swoop up. Ooh, that's not even. It should be here. Now let's check that. Yeah, that's even. So if we do that, we get ellipse there. So that's about where that crown is probably going to sit. Okay. Now draw this crown. So it swoops up. No, it needs to be higher. Here. Because it needs to go up above the edge of this. Wait. There we go. That's where it needs to sit. No wonder I was struggling. That seems huge. Time to erase and redraw. I'm suspecting that once I have this drawn in how I want it to be, that the pomegranate will go easy because it does not have the texture the pineapple had. So that will be useful. So we'll give that a second to dry. and then we'll try again. Let me grab those pearl canvases so I can show them, because they're neat. They're just, I have to walk around the camera to the other side of the easel. See you later, Noah. This is the plastic that I use to cover my paint to keep it wet. Oh, you're stapled. So can you see that's pearl? Like, it's pearlescence. It's really pretty. It's just like slight glitter to it. So I need to figure out what I want to do with this. So I need to show it off somehow. So I have some thoughts about doing like washes on it like I did for the Tsushima painting. So you can still see a little bit of the pearl through. I also had a thought about drawing something and painting something. For example, like just the big kiwi alone on this and leaving the pearl as the background. So I had that thought. I had a thought of doing highlights just in white paint and shadows just in black paint and leaving like the main color be this. Like, what's the best way to describe that? So like if this was painted in white and this was painted in blue and the pink was the pearl, like that would show through. I don't know, I've had different thoughts about it and I don't know how this will take paint because it's very slick. Like this has a lot more tooth to it, like when it's the canvas gessoed even. This is a lot smoother, so I don't know. So I'm probably gonna do some samples on the back here. Not this part because this is raw canvas, but like this part. And see how I feel about how the paint sits on that. Because I only got 2 of these and they're on clearance and they're not making any more. But they make them in gold too. And the gold ones are really cool, but they didn't have those. So someday I'll do something with that. But they were, like I said, on clearance and I was like, I had my eye on these, but I didn't want to like pay full price. Because I didn't know if I would like it. Alright, we are dry enough to redraw this again. So I had my center line here. What I should do is probably... I'm trying to judge based on my reference image exactly where the center of this is. So if this is center of my ellipse, then we have, it should come out to here. And come out to here. So is that even? No, this is even. So that's how big my ellipse for the crown should be. And this should be center for it. And it gets up pretty far here. And it should be equal distance here. So that's like the base of the crown. Okay. It's right, like I've measured. So this guy sits and curls that way and makes it to about here. Actually, no, because it needs to sit up. And then it's going to come back to about here. I can't see it on top of the light blue either, which is a little frustrating. And I'll move it to the darker color like I did with the pineapple once I get there. It looks huge, but that's how it is. Okay. No. The pomegranate farm. I like how I drew it. I just feel like it should be smaller. Like, I really like how I drew it. Like, you can't just shrink it down. This is the part that sucks. Is being like, drew it really good, shrink it down. So it was about here and here. I need to make it smaller. So again, we'll let that dry. We can see if I need to refill any paint markers. Nope, this one has a lot. You are a new one. No, come back. This one needs paint. Let's do that. So I know I've talked about these on the bridge stream. I really like these. They are empty paint markers that I fill with liquid paint so that I can draw easier. Are you not gonna come undone for me? There we go. The hard thing is not knowing, there's a bubble, how full it is because it's filled with dark paint. And there's a bubble, so I can't tell. Do I have something that I can poke that with? Yeah. Have fun at work, Leafly. Okay. Yeah, this is like half full. They don't hold much, but it lasts a while. Thank you, Kashi. I've been very happy with it so far. And like I said at the start, like, I could have gone like full vaporwave and that would have been a lot of fun, but I didn't plan ahead for it. And that's okay, because like, it looks good this way too. And I can always do vaporwave still life in the future. There's a big glob of paint. Alright, we filled paint marker for later. Is this dry? Yeah, let's try drawing this crown again. So I had this drawn here and here. And what I need to do is I like the placement of it. Is I need it to sit more here and here. And it needs to be in a little bit. Probably where I originally drew it. Yeah, where I originally drew it, but just off a little bit because it wasn't centered before. All right, before I try and draw in the pointy pieces, we're going to erase a little bit. So I can see this ellipse better. That feels better in size. I'm glad I did that. And because I've redrawn this, my chalk pastel is already dull. Cool. Rainbow Road is such a good track, especially this one, I think. All right, now we can redraw this again. So these swoop up, especially on this side. This one hooks up, and then it hooks down. And then it hits at like, if this is 6 o'clock, that's like 7:30 around this ellipse. And then this one hits at like 5. And then this one hits right at like 3. If I think about it like a clock, like 12, 3, 6, 9, like I'm trying to figure out where they hit around that circle. And this one really arches this way and hits at like 2:30. And this one hits at like 11:30. So the tops of these also kind of sit in an ellipse that matches that ellipse. So I'm trying to keep that in mind as I'm drawing. And now I need that transparent black. There, that's where the crown is. Wonderful. All right, pomegranate. My highlight is going to sit here. And we're gonna get a little bit of a reflected light there. Pomegranates have like a slight angle to them. They're not round, not like an orange. They're like just slightly angular. Like there's not enough polygons. Just a little, few too many. So we're gonna block it in with base colors first. So we will have smooth pomegranate. And then we'll start to add in a little bit of texture. There's not a whole lot of texture that comes into play with the pomegranate, just with the crown. So let's mix up some of those colors. So there's a little bit, it's red, it's very red, but there's a little bit of like yellows and orange that come into it, like just to have a little bit of variation there. I'm getting rid of colors I don't need. That I had out for the pineapple. All right, we'll need ultramarine. We do not need quinacridone. Why do I have so many red paints? This. We don't need Jenkins green. We can probably get by on that. All right. And I wore long sleeves that are too tight on my wrist to pull up any further. So, let's start mixing up some colors. And I'm almost done with this primary magenta. And like I said, it's kind of getting old and it's a little dried out. So it's kind of a pain to work with. So one of the things I have is I have this tube ringer, this thing, and honestly it works great on any product that comes in a tube. So sometimes when my toothpaste is getting low, I'll come in here and crinkle roll the end of my toothpaste. Is this a wetsuit? No, it's some sort of workout shell thing that I got probably at Costco. I also have some face stuff that I have, and I will use this on it because it's in the same sort of like aluminum tube, so it'll keep this crinkle and I can get every little bit of it out. So there's a vlog coming out where I talk about this table that I got, the new desk I have that I'm working on. And we talk about like making investments in the things you're doing, and like over time how I've gotten, like I started by using a chair in here, and I would just set like my paints on that chair instead of having somewhere to work. And then I moved up to one of those glass IKEA laptop tables. And then as of like a few days ago, I have like an actual desk with space on it to like keep my paints and stuff. And like I talk about like the first thing I would invest in would be paint. Like if I was starting from scratch, this is something I would get early on too, because I did. And they have this in plastic, but I would recommend the metal one. And it's something I only need to buy once. So, like I will, this thing is super sturdy and I'll never have to buy another one. So there are little things that I would, like if you had an extra $50 to throw at a problem, if you were starting on painting, I would get a metal tube ringer and I would invest more into paint and get nicer quality paints. If you're just starting to learn though, I would buy cheap paint so you can learn color mixing and not worry so much about wasting it. I'm trying to reconstitute this red because it started off like old dry chunky lipstick and now it's looking a bit more like lip gloss. That's what I need it to be. It's a really old tube of paint. And it's red, so it dries out fast. Alright, we start with our red. We'll need some yellow. Where's my tube gripper? Pull out some titanium whites. And ultramarine, because we're doing ultramarine. We're having tikka tonight, some people are. Steven just went to the mall and had Indian, and I'm very jealous because I did not go. I did not get any. Alright, time to mix up some of these reds. So I'm going to mix up a base red, which might just be this primary magenta because it's really close. Because, like, get close. And then we'll mix a shadow one with a little bit of ultramarine blue, and then we'll mix up a highlight and do a base layer. Ooh, this is a really pretty burgundy. Look at that. It's very pretty. I don't know if I like this highlight color. Didn't quite do what I wanted it to. I mixed magenta, yellow, and titanium white, and it's kind of coral. That's not quite what I wanted out of this. So I'm gonna mix up just a plain orange and maybe work on that, and I can always bring in other colors. Pomegranates are a little glossy. So we have my mixing colors across the top: magenta, yellow, white, and this is ultramarine blue. And I've mixed up magenta and yellow for my base, a little bit of ultramarine blue for the shadow. This is the coral I mixed for the highlight, and I don't really love it, so I mixed up orange, and that's my new highlight color. And we're going to do a nice base layer, maybe with a slightly larger brush than this one. Oh, you're the same brush. Don't I have a nice flat that's bigger than this? This one. This one's a little, like it has these pieces off the end. Summer Noir says, you need an overhead so we can see what you're mixing. That's something we talked about. Steven's like, that would be nice. See how that just cleans up the edge really nice once I paint on top of the orange part from the orange glass? Moose says, this is a random question, but when you scrape the paint on the palette and it occasionally screeches, does the noise or sensation bother me? Not really. But, like, nails on a chalkboard also doesn't really bother me. So, I think that's kind of related for me. Oh, there's a pinprick of canvas showing through. The underpainting was supposed to take care of that for me. So this is still kind of transparent and you're going to see some of this blue through here. But that's fine because we like that. And it's the same color I'm doing for the shadow anyway. I wish I knew where my studio scissors were to cut these pieces off. They're driving me nuts. Let's just chop them with a knife. It's my paintbrush. I can chop off bristles if I want. That's my theory on it. Sometimes I feel bad. Slick Duke says, I looked away for a bit and suddenly the pomegranate has color. It changes quick. I think it's time to store this upside down. It is getting too empty. Stay there. Alright, so we're picking up some of the burgundy shadow color. And we're going to bring that back in over this. I don't think it has quite enough blue, but we can always do more layers later. And I want to switch to a smaller brush. To start filling in some of this. And I'm already seeing that because of how I've done the crown with the drawing and the shading gray and the marker, it's going to take a lot of layers to get rid of that line, that outline effect I have going on right now. That's okay. We'll start putting some down now. And we will eventually put enough down that it won't matter. And it's the same on top of the blue, really. Because like the blue, you can see the line between those. So these paintbrushes, what brand is this? Royal? They're really cheap and they come in a multi-pack and they all have different color handles and they're super cheap, and I like them because I can let them soak for just a little bit. Like, you shouldn't soak your brushes because the glue and the metal part breaks down and then you lose bristles faster, but it doesn't ruin the handles if I let them sit for a few minutes. Like if I just need to quick get rid of a brush so it doesn't dry out, I can throw it in the water while I work for a few minutes. So like, where did that bristle go? The one I showed earlier. This one. So like this one I let soak for a few seconds, and then like over time the paint on the handle comes off. I think these are kids' brushes. They're great. So we're gonna move into some of our orange highlights. And I'm thinking it looks a little too orange right now, but that's fine. We'll work in more red. Once it gets filled in pretty solidly, it's like, oh, there it is. Oh yeah, it's a pomegranate. So the crown actually gets quite a bit of like yellows on the inside of it. So at some point I will mix those up and fill it in. But for now I'm just trying to fill in where I did that outline, so I don't have that outline. I'm kind of thinking this coral color I can just let sit in here for now and eventually bring in some of those orange and yellows for the inside of this. Oh, don't stick your hand in that. That actually helps a lot. Intense pomegranate. Mission in pomegranate. Let's try and hide this line some more. Lunar says, I'm back from my nap and we added an extra fruit. Yeah, we got pomegranate getting filled in. So we're going to bring down some of this yellow, orange color. Because, like, well, there is some of that in there. It's a lot that I painted in. So I'm doing like a slight wash of my red color, the main color, with some glazing liquid, just to knock it back a little bit. That's looking a lot better. One of the things I'm trying to do is I'm trying to like work around different places. So I worked here and that's gonna dry, and then I worked here and this will dry, and now the crown is still super wet because I laid down paint a little thick on it. I'm still seeing those outlines up there. Where did all that plastic wrap I cut off go? Behind me? Yep. We're going to cover up these paints for a few minutes while this dries, so I don't lose them because they are red paint and they will dry out. So inside the crown is a bunch of like, that's where the flower is. So it's all like the dried out pieces of the flower. And that will be brown later. But for now, I think I'm just going to fill it in with more of the shading gray. Or maybe I'll just mix up a brown now, like a dark brown. Or just use straight up burnt umber. And later we'll add some highlights and texture there. We are not ready to do that though, because everything else needs to get done first. Moose says, you changed your nails, I see. Yep. Did that last night. I forget the exact name of the polish, but it's a bee's knees lacquer and it's something about cake. It took like 4 coats to get it opaque enough that I liked it. But it's really pretty then once I got it there. And I probably should have put it on top of more of a plain base coat instead of a clear base coat, like something a bit more closer to my skin tone, or put white down first. Should have done one or the other, but I didn't. So it took 4 coats, but it's fine. It looks good now that it's done. You want that cake? That's Carly's favorite cake. Still very tacky and wet. Gotta let that sit for a little bit more. And so is this part. Let's see. Let's think about drawing the coconut while we're waiting on that. So I think this part of the coconut is really good, but I feel like the back part, which is probably what I should do first, is like the shell of the coconut before I do the meat of the coconut. Probably. That's what I'm thinking. So I need to draw that in. So if I have like this edge, this part, see, I think I just drew it too small right here, but like it's getting covered up by the avocado. So really it should start here. I think it needs to be that big. And there's so little of this showing. That I don't think it's going to matter all that much in the end, because like the avocado's going to sit here. Yeah. Or waiting a little bit on the pomegranate to dry. I'm gonna start filling in some of this. So I'm just gonna use burnt sienna for the base here, with a little bit of burnt umber, just because the sienna is so orange. This is a good song. And then the rim of the shell, like not where the coconut meat is, but like the rim of the shell, I'm gonna do in burnt umber. I never drew this line. Whoops. That actually does a lot, even though it's just kind of blocked in a little bit. I need to get rid of some of this orange in here. Yamadorgan says, I looked away and now you're working on the coconut. I needed the pomegranate to dry a little bit, so I was like, I'll just block in the coconut. Just gonna use plain colors and block it in. Just so it's not some doing something. It's not gonna be fully coconut time because we're actually going to go back to pomegranate now that it's dry. But I had the colors and I was like, I'll just fill it in a little bit. It'll help. All right, what do I want to do with this pomegranate? I think I need to finish the inside of the crown, work to the outside of the crown, and maybe do a little more shadow on the body, and then like, because it's glossy, it gets highlights similar to this in a way. Like there's going to be like a bright highlight right here on top of this yellowy color once I get there. So we need to push shadows down here. The crown needs like totally worked on, so I'm gonna work on the inside first so that can dry because I need to draw in like the dead flower pieces in the inside, and then we'll work on the outside, the front part, and then we'll work on the body and then the highlight. Because I'm not working on the shadow down here yet because it's gonna be the same shadow as on the outside of the crown, so I'm gonna do that at the same time. But in order to do the inside of the crown, I need more yellows and oranges. So I'm gonna pull some yellow. And I need a little bit of a violet, so we're gonna mix up that because I need it to get toned down a little bit. Hi, Haley. Haley's his fruit party, and Noah's done with his meeting. Welcome back, Noah. We're working on painting all of these tropical fruit. So it's more orange towards the edges of these pieces. That's too much paint on the brush. And I have yellow here for some reason. Hero Chaos Chow got out of a meeting too. It's time for everyone to be done with their meetings. I missed my meeting today. It's a Monday. I'm supposed to have a meeting. Pomegranate stands out nice in front of the orange glass, Kit Cleed says. Yeah, doesn't it? Once that got filled in, it really kind of cleaned up all of like the mess. Like you can see the pineapple sitting on top of the avocado and like this. Once it gets blocked in, it's like, there it is. Mr. Raichu Dude says, so are you going biking after this? Maybe. Oh, it's already 3:30? It's gonna get dark soon. How warm is it? I mean, this is super thin. Like, what I'm wearing is really thin. What am I looking for? This dark color, burgundy. What was I doing? I pick up a color and I go look at the painting and I'm like, this doesn't need to be what I do next, but it is. I'm finishing up the inside of the crown here. I really thought the pomegranate would go faster than this. I realized that you can see this orange color on these ones too. So now I'm fixing that mistake. But it helped a lot. Hero Chaos Chow says, so was this based off an image or just an idea that came to me? So I wanted to do a still life, and when I started last week Tuesday, I was like, what should I paint? I want to do a still life, so name like things, and people were like, kiwi. I was like, cool, I love kiwi, so I drew in kiwi. And I was like, okay, we need something else, and someone's like, pineapple. And I was like, good texture, very different, so I drew that in. And I drew this big, and the kiwi were like the size of the pomegranate, so I had to shrink them. And then we just kept going from there. We were like, okay, well, this is kind of looking like tropical fruit, so we start to fill in other tropical fruit. And at some point I needed the glass here was like the last thing. I was like, I need something else tall, but like not as textured as this. And someone suggested a drink, so we put a drink in. And we were gonna do an umbrella, but the garnish of the orange slice was really nice. Randy says it was a group project that was that Mal's doing all the work for. I am doing a lot of the work for it, but I couldn't have done it without all of you guys suggesting things. All right, are we dry enough to add in? Yeah, we are. So we're gonna add in some of these like dead dried flowery things. And all I'm doing with this is I'm taking burnt umber and some titanium white to get a little bit of lighter burnt umber. And we're just gonna kind of do some dots in here. And I'm gonna try not to paint on the stuff I've already done. That worked well. Alright, it is time to work more on the outside of the crown of this and the body of the pomegranate. So I have my dark burgundy color, which you can kind of see in different places. And I'm going to use that to start with. And I can mix some ultramarine blue into it to bring in more shadow in the places that it needs it. I also should probably use my main base color for my red while I'm at it to fill in a few of these areas to lighten them up. This is a violet that I just mixed up with some of the ultramarine blue to bring in the shadow better, and that helped. All right, I want to add in a little bit more detail to the crown. And I feel like the shadows on the pomegranate itself are good, but I need to bring in a little bit more here. I feel like. And then I need highlights on the pomegranate because they're like glossy. Do I have any titanium white? Yeah, I do. It did not dry out all the way. So I've mixed up a pink, a lighter pink, which is my base color with just a little bit of titanium white. And I think I'm just going to fill in a little bit of highlights on the crown because they're getting a little lost. And then we're going to start to fill in the actual highlights with probably the same color. And I'm just dry brushing it on just to give a little bit of it. And I can always layer this if I need to. Like if I think it needs a little bit more. I think I need a bigger brush for the rest of it. All right, so the big one obviously sits here. Ooh, that's not light enough. So I think they coat pomegranates in wax, but I feel like they're also like quite waxy to begin with. Let me sit back for a second. I think that's set. I don't really want to do too much more to it. I was using the dry brush on it for the highlight because there's a little bit of texture to a pomegranate. So I wanted it to catch in some areas and not in every area. I didn't want to make it totally smooth. So I think that was successful. Kicklade says, 2 of your fruits have crowns. You've got a royal still life going on. A royal tropical still life. Let's get, that's not my spray bottle. Let's get some of this paint off my hands. Did I ruin my manicure? Nope. Good. That was a worry I had when I did my nails last night. Because like I can scrape off some of the acrylic paint, but it doesn't seem to all want to come off sometimes. Cool. Let me cover up these paints. Wonderful. Get all the stuff I have out of water. 2 royal fruits, that's a pretty crowning achievement. Thanks, Fossix. And I also want to wash out these brushes with my cleaner water. This, can you go somewhere and not leak everywhere on me? So as I'm finishing up cleaning up some of my stuff here, I'm going to start by running my Patreon ticker. So today I think is the first day Patreon updates. So these will be updated in the next couple days. So these are my November patrons. So if you're interested in supporting me on Patreon and the perks that come with that, Fossix has the links for you, so you can check that out. Whether you're supporting Steven or myself, you can join our Discord at the $10 level. Both his and mine go to the same Discord. So thank you to my patrons for supporting me. I'm going to be getting to updating Patreon stuff in the next month or so as I keep working on paintings and get things figured out. So be on the lookout for a post shortly. Oh my god. The song haunts my dreams. Does this one have lyrics or is it just the song? All right. Let's see. Let's start thinking of our raid message while I get Steven in here to do my zoom in, the fake zoom in. Hey, Steven. Can I get fake punch in?
Yeah. I don't think anyone's streaming, by the way.
Oh, no one is streaming? Did you finish vlog?
No.
Oh, okay.
Sorry. That would have been great, but it's complicated.
That would have been great.
It's not done. I'm working on it, though.
All right. Will you do a punch into the pomegranate? There's the pomegranate. You need me to turn it square?
It will be better, yeah.
Yeah. You'll have to move. There, pomegranate.
It's round.
It is round.
Look at that. And you also did some of the brown?
I just blocked it in while I was waiting on stuff to dry.
Okay.
But that's all I did, is I painted it brown and then dark brown. But coconut will be next.
Neat.
Yeah. We could read the Starfield VOD that just came out, Swiffer Sweeper says.
I mean, that is a thing that just came out.
Yeah.
Like a minute ago. It was already scheduled for 4. You just coincidentally.
Coincidentally, it's 4 o'clock. Well, what was that? Someone said a raid message and it's scrolled past now.
Yeah, go post it on the Starfield VOD. That's fine.
Yeah.
It'll confuse the crap out of, like, the Starfield VOD watchers. They'll be like, what?
Fossix has the link for you.
Everyone will be like, why did all these people say this on this VOD?
Royal Fruit. Let's go with Royal Fruit for our VOD raid message for the Starfield VOD.
People will be watching the Starfield VOD and be like, there must be, like, an instance of Steven saying Royal Fruit in this video. And they will not find it.
There won't be.
I'm trying to think if there's any other things.
It's Monday, so tomorrow morning is breakfast stream.
Yeah. Tomorrow morning's breakfast stream.
And there's also Pikmin tomorrow.
Yeah, we're almost done with Pikmin.
Mm-hmm.
That's getting down to the end. I released my Patreon video yesterday.
Okay, so Steven's patrons can go check that out.
It's good.
It's good.
And then I am actively working on the next vlog. Like, that's what I was doing before I came in here. And when I'm done, I'll go back to doing that.
Sapphire Rebecca says, painting tomorrow or taking a break? I could only do an evening stream, like my normal this painting stream time.
Yeah, because, I mean, we have...
It's that or Wednesday.
Yeah, I mean, we have Pikmin.
Mm-hmm.
And then you don't have anything else the rest of the day tomorrow.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, that'll be up to you. Basically, after you finish Pikmin, you can see how you feel.
Yeah.
So it's not impossible, especially because I know that you're trying to get this done.
Yeah, I'm getting there though. I only got 3
Yeah, you're doing really good.
things left, and then I gotta put a shadow down, and then I have to decide if I'm leaving the light blue alone or making it bigger.
Yeah, so you probably only have 3 more sessions?
3 or 4.
3 or 4. Okay. Yeah, that's not bad.
So, yeah, be on the lookout for more streams, because I want to get this done. It's really coming together quickly now.
Yeah. Cool.
All right, thanks everyone for being here. Go check out the VOD and tell it #RoyalFruit. And I will definitely see you guys for breakfast stream in the morning. Have a good night.